My publisher told me 4 years ago, she said, you will be surprised that your book, it'll take on a life of its own. Like all this work that you're doing right now, you think ends, but it doesn't. All the work you're doing now actually pays off in 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And she's right. Like it really does take on a life of its own.
We're here. It's time for another mini episode, but today we're having a celebration. So, Mandy, do you want to tell us what the celebration is for today?
It's a celebration. Da da. We can't swear, but isn't that a song? Isn't that like a?
Well,
It's a
it could
cel,
be, yes. Yes, it could be a
right? Isn't
celebration, but
no? But there's like a song, like it's a celebration. Then you swear, like but da, like right? Or no? Am I
uh,
am I remembering the story?
I don't know. I'll
If I
research
c-
it.
if I can say the swear word, you would know what I'm talking about. It's just I'm not going to say it,
Okay,
but yeah, but
good.
it's popular song I think from the 90s. I'm just saying.
Okay,
Those of
okay.
you listening or watching, if you know, you know. If you know,
Yeah,
you know. We're celebrating Sales Tales 4 year anniversary. Today was the book launch 4 years
4
ago.
years ago. So you launched it
Mhm.
right kind of in the thick of the pandemic, like October 2021.
I did pre-sale in August, and
Yeah.
I launched it October 20th in 2021. I remember, I don't know if you remember, I finished writing Sales Tells December 2019, and 2020 was going to be the best
Yeah.
year ever.
Yeah.
And then obviously we got a little derailed, and I was looking for publishers in December 2019, but then I got very busy with lifting and shifting contracts for the first 6 months of 2020. So then I restarted my look in 20 middle 2020 and signed in April 2021, and that thing cooked and booked and everything pretty quickly. October 2021.
Now, do you find 4 years later you're still kind of selling plenty of copies? Do you do a lot of sales from back of the room?
So it's really interesting. I still get like little Amazon checks, little I get little checks every month still with Audible, through the whether it's the audio book or the Kindle or the Amazon or the whatever. And then whenever I speak, I always ask, and because when people book speakers, I'm sure you know this, right? Your speaking fee is a part of the conference, but the books are a different line item. Like they come from like training. So I always ask, like, do you want, books? So normally they just buy 200 books or 1,000 books or whatever that is. So yeah, I mean, my publisher told me 4 years ago, she said, you will be surprised that your book it'll take on a life of its own. Like all this work that you're doing right now, you think ends, but it doesn't. All the work you're doing now actually pays off in 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And she's right. Like it really does take on a life of its own. But I also, with the book, I have Sales Tales Live. I do the quarterly paid webinars for specific groups of people. So it does take on a life.
Yeah.
And I use every single principle from Sales Tales as a part of my coaching. And then I've updated it, as business conditions have changed, which they have drastically in 4 years.
Yeah. What you remind me of another question. Did you release Audible the same day?
No,
Oh.
I did a special separate release. So I released my audiobook. So I released the paperback, Kindle, and hardcover in October 2021. And then I waited to do my Audible in April.
Oh, so
And
another birthday party.
I did it during my book tour, and we did a break the internet
Oh,
party. And so we had everybody like press the button at the same time and download the Audible app, which was super fun too.
interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
In retrospect, like going back to when you pre-launched, would you change anything that you did over during the launch week 4 years later?
I mean, I'm really proud of how I handled myself during that time. I had no idea what I was doing, and I took risks. I wasn't afraid to take risks, and I would do it all the same. 2 things I would do differently. I would not hire the same PR company that we worked with. They were not awesome. And I would outsource the marketing piece because my publisher was awesome at listing, like they knew exactly what categories to list on Amazon. They strategically, I mean, I was the best seller in all 5 categories. Like they crushed that. That was awesome. And then the marketing piece, I did all the marketing, but and I'm glad I did it. But for the next book, I have another book coming out next year. I'm actively looking at an outside marketing
Mm,
agency to do that
yeah.
because it's too much time. And I know exactly what I need to do. So when I interview a marketing agency, I know what questions to ask and how much time each thing takes and all that stuff. So
Okay.
those are 2 things I would do differently.
Okay. What have
Yeah.
been some of the maybe the highlights that you weren't expecting from, 4 years ago to now in terms of your book and the launch and all that?
Mm, I think my greatest highlight is just how when I learned to ask for help and I actually did ask for help, people they showed up. I mean, just from like the book launch party, 'cause remember that was during COVID. I had to have like a separate COVID testing area, which like there were 2 entrances. I mean, it logistically it was complicated. I didn't have any money at that time to pay for a separate event director or event planner. Luckily, most of my friends are in that business. So like they stepped up. It was like one friend was a bouncer for the elevator, another friend monitored the COVID testing station, another friend made sure that the setup was good. Like I got really lucky. I just asked for help and people showed up and I'll never be the same. Like I know how hard it is to do all of this, and whenever I see somebody being creative and putting themselves out there, I will. I've offered to help now
Mhm.
because people need help, and they don't realize they have an army of people that want to help. So you have to ask for help. But then I will always give help now when anybody's trying to do an creative endeavor if I have time and it works within my schedule kind of thing. But I will always help if I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any kind of final thoughts on 4 years, sales tales, and the impact it's having on you, the industry, the sales industry?
I mean, I think when it first came out, people were reading it thinking it was a really funny business book and aren't those gee whiz interesting stories. And I think over the last 4 years, a lot of people have said, hey, I'm actually using your tactics on
Mhm.
follow up. I'm actually practicing sweat working. I'm actually looking at my business bedside manner. I'm actually more certain about an uncertain economy because of your disaster selling. I think like initially people were like, ooh, isn't that cute? But then when they dig into it and realize there's actual practical tactical tips, it's more relevant now than ever before because you have to be memorable in the marketplace. And that book is all about like memorable, quirky, weird, clever stories, but like there's something in it for everybody. And I think initially people didn't understand that. And now I think it's more relevant. So that would be my biggest takeaway of like that. I don't think that sales style goes out of business. I just think it becomes more relevant with the busier the world gets, the
Right.
more AI driven the world is, the more automated the world gets.
What is next for sales tales?
Well, I'm going to do Sales Tales live in February, and it's going to be geared towards entrepreneurs. So I'm going to release that probably in November. I'm going to cap it at 30 people. It's going to be 70 minutes. All entrepreneurs hate to sell. They're petrified to ask for business, but they need to sell. Nobody's more passionate about your product than an entrepreneur who has a business. So there'll be that. And then I'm going to be doing a wholesale self retreat next year,
Mm,
and I'm only going to take a very small amount of people. We're going to be in a undisclosed location where it's not just one-on-ones with me for coaching. There's going to be one-on-ones for how to manage the highs and lows of sales, how to perform at your best, how to sleep at your best, how to be your most well. So even though I've got a new book coming out next year, Business Bedside Manner, Sales Tales is going to continue to ebb and flow with its own little brand.
Yeah, I can't wait for your retreat. I'm really excited to hear and watch you
Oh,
as you plan it, execute it, and have your attendees. That's like really really exciting for me because I think it's long overdue. Like for you
mm.
retreats, that's gonna be like I think it's gonna be easy for you. Maybe not easy to plan it, but you'll be in your world there.
Yeah, it'll be in my world,
Yeah,
and I have a planner. I'm gonna hire and pay and all that stuff. But I just feel like just having attended some of these myself, there is nothing more powerful than investing 2 days in yourself on a topic that matters to you, that's transformative in your life, and stopping everything else and actually doing it. Just
yeah,
listening and doing it, like
yeah,
I've gotten so much benefit out of doing that myself. And I'm just really honored to deliver that to people and show them, like, because everybody I know is like, I don't have time. I don't have time for anything. It's like, no, you're not carving out time for
yeah,
yourself. You're not making time for your priorities. And I was just as guilty as charged as that. I understand it. I totally understand that. But making time and carving time for yourself is like it only catapults you to the next level. So I'm really excited to see people's like faces and energy just
yeah.
explode from that experience. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Happy fourth birthday to
Thank
Sales
you.
Tales. Can't
Thank
wait
you,
to
hon.
see where the next 4 years will take you with that book. Keep us up to date on all the things.
I will.
And thank you for sharing. So if you're in the chat or you're watching, make sure you send Mandy a note telling her happy fourth birthday for Sales Tales, the book
Yes.
release. Make sure you rate and review the podcast that you're listening on the platform that you're listening on. Uh-oh. Go ahead.
I just thought of something. Yes.
Yeah.
Rate and review our podcast, please, and follow us on YouTube. But more importantly, well, not more importantly, as
Just as
equal,
important. Yes.
just as important, go to Amazon and give Sales Tales a review. Those reviews actually help make Sales Tales show up in more
Yeah.
people's feeds. Same with your book, Amani, A Quiet Storm. Go and give Amani's book a review. Go and give my book a review. It takes like 10 seconds. And
Yeah.
they make it so easy to go on there, click reviews, do a quick review. It matters. It really, really matters more than you know. And I think people are like, it's just one review. Literally,
No. Yeah.
I see a spike, and every time I get just
Yeah.
one more review. So
Yeah. The goal, I think, for us as authors, if we can get to 100 reviews eventually on Amazon, that will help us get added to the algorithm many, many exponentially more. So
yeah.
that's the goal. Review. Thank
Yeah.
y'all for watching or listening. We will see you next time for our next mini episode.
See you next
Bye,
time.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Adventures in Business. Don't forget to rate and review our podcast on the platform that you're currently listening it on. And don't forget to share it with your friends and anybody that might be as much of the business nerds as Amani and I are. See you next time for another captivating interview.